Okay, random rockers. This is gonna be 3 in 1. There was a lot. Apparently something else happened. And no, fuck the Limp Bizkit thing. I'm not doing that record, so don't even ask. It's not worth the time, and Wes Borland's done better in his life. That's about as much as I'm going to address about it. Secondly, I can finally review a new Porcupine Tree album in 2022. And I can review, and maybe throughout the rest of that year, starting next year, I'll probably be, depending on what comes out before that, I'll probably be attempting to do some reviews on some albums I didn't get to involving Porcupine Tree. At least some I don't have physical copies of. That'll be harder to find. Because the 90s stuff, besides Stupid Dream, is a lot harder to find. So yeah, Hurricane is fucking good, okay? There were moments I started to notice by the second time to listen that I could tell some of the stuff he was doing on his solo stuff's kind of seeped in a little bit. But luckily, it's not taking away from what the band offers. I do feel like I love that the band is doing what it needs to do to hinder him from going a little too far into that territory that he did in the solo stuff, which is because of whatever he was doing on No Man. So I feel like him going back to Porcupine Tree makes more sense now, given what his more poppier direction in his solo career, since he's not as rock-oriented. And I didn't hate it, but I was a little worried about it. And now that I see what we're doing here, but I am starting to wonder if now he's starting to, if in Steven Wilson's case in general, if he's starting to rest on his laurels. But either way, Harrigan, it's a great track. I even posted just recently, before I just did this video, posted something on my Facebook. I may decide to also do something about that in my Instagram. I don't know. I don't barely use it as much, and I need to start doing that. But anyway, at least for the channel, if I need to promote it. But anyways, yeah, this is I'm just super excited about this. But don't worry, these albums and another something that'll hold me over for a while, I get to talk about. These 3 albums, and we're gonna start with Mastodon, Hushed and Grim. Yes. This album is the 8th studio album. And this is the follow-up to Emperor of Sand. This album, it seems personally, I think that the best way, real true way to be able to understand musically this record, if you liked the EP Old Dark Place, and what was essentially of that project stuff that was leftover scraps from one track, probably a leftover from Emperor's Sand, the others being songs that were essentially from the Brett Hines stuff. It seems a lot of that is happening here. Apparently people are saying that they are bored with this thing. I am not. Not really. I mean, I feel like that. I think if you at least listen to that EP, I think you'll have a better time with this, I guess. Because, yeah, they sort of softened up a bit, but they still have heavier moments like The Crux. And even tracks like Savage Lands as well. Of course, the lead single, Pushing the Tides, which was the better of the singles in my opinion. I like it even more in the context of this record by the time you do get to it. And Gigantium is an even better. I like this record, but here's the thing. And I think people do need time to grow on this, like I had said about Emperor of Sand. But the difference being, Emperor of Sand, even at this point having listened to it, I'm in this weird spot where I'm thinking I can't choose now between Emperor of Sand or that album, the Emperor of Sand, or their Once More Around the Sun, in terms of where they're at in my 5 placement. The only thing I can guarantee you for sure, if anyone thinks that this album is worse than The Hunter, shut the fuck up. I'm stomping that out right now. Right now. Because it's not that, it's no. I understand if it's the next one in line, like, topping that, I get it. But I'm not going to sit here and say it's a bad record. In fact, there is a moment where I'm starting to wonder if this album does grow on me, if I got to have this album have a fight with Emperor of Sand and Once More Around the Sun, his albums. Because right now it seems when it comes to where my head is at about certain albums, it seems, because right now I seem that the top 4 is going to have their little fight, which is of course the first 4 albums. They're still the magnum opuses in a similar way to how some people are willing to treat Metallica's first 4 albums. And we can kind of agree about that when it comes to Mastodon, I guess. But yeah, but it's just when it comes to anything since Hunter, I think everyone can agree that at this point, even with Hushed and Grim, anything they've done post that has never managed to be anywhere near as bad in terms of quality. Though there was a nice moment, but it loses itself, I think, at a certain point, and I think it really loses itself by the time you get to that title track on that record. But especially since I had to revisit it so I could make sure that this new Hushed and Grim record isn't going to be even remotely close to being that bad. So, and it's not. But I feel like that lyrically it's even better in terms of making a nice little tribute to them. I don't know where, I'm really confused with Metal Trenches in terms of where he thinks that this album is even touches what Incubus does yet at all. Baffles me, but it's still just kind of what I got out of Mastodon from Cold Dark Place, which I believe is the EP that came out shortly after, within the same time frame that Emperor Sand did. So I feel like that sleeps off more from that. And I liked what this album is. I understand if it's not, if you still somehow, though I do understand now that he's willing to give it Emperor Sand more respect. Thank you. But hopefully, maybe that might be a good thing in making you enjoy Emperor Sand more. Though I don't think you should just outright dismiss this album in a way that says, oh, it's worse than The Hunter. No. Don't do that. Don't do that to yourself. In fact, I'm glad I did the discography run. Or else I wouldn't have been able to get a better appreciation for this record and knowing what inspired this album in the depth of it. In fact, I'd go as far as to say, thank God it's not as bad as another album that apparently came out this year that I luckily didn't get to hear, but I hear it had a similar thing to where a manager had essentially passed away, and they tried to do a tribute thing only for that to not mean much of crap. But this album does a better job of that. It shows how much he was a part of the band in a way, at least in terms of touring and stuff, at least keeping them together in that regard, And they got freaking Dave Bitcherall, who gave us 2 of Tool's best fucking albums. Also, like, the best Coheed album, and apparently fucking did Diorama? The Silverchair that I just recently listened to, and I was like, fuck, I missed out on so much. And those both came out the same fucking year. God damn. Bitcherall, if I make an album, I'm already considering Bitcherall at this point. Granted, he started to leave a hiccup, but I'm not going to put this in as a hiccup. No. I'm not going to say it's the greatest thing he's done with that, but he definitely helped push the band to go this direction, or take what they did in Cold Dark Place and go even further with it. But they didn't completely disavow doing heavier stuff that's just not as much, but I think they handled this more bluesier aspect of the band, even to points where I do agree more with Metal Meltdown that there are some moments where they kind of borderline into Chris Stapleton territory, which is probably part of the reason why I like this record a little bit more in these regards. Though I do understand if some people feel kind of at points, but I do think that they find ways in certain tracks that I had aforementioned before to pick things up. Overall, I can't call this a masterclass like those first 4 albums. I think I might have considered masterclass and said horns up. In this case, with Hushed and Grim, at best, I can just say thumbs up for it for now. It's definitely solid. I wouldn't say it's no means a bad record. It's very least it's good. It's solid. I don't know if I could say it's great necessarily, or else I would have horns up it. You know what I mean? But yeah, it's good. It's solid. I'd say it's worth your time. It's not boring. Give it more of a chance. In fact, if you feel like you are bored upon its first listen, then how about you go and do a entire discography, including The Hunter, because I think if you do that, it will help you, sorry, my chair moved, massively. That's my recommendation about this record, and that's why I gave it a thumbs up. Now, moving on to Whitechapel, Kin. Okay, I did a similar thing to what happened with Rivers of Nile with this, which was mainly because for the main reason that I guess from a story perspective, even though I can't say deep dive as much into the lyrics, but what is said here is fucking between the last record and this. Of the Valley. I didn't give that album a chance. I just didn't think it would do anything for me because I don't care that much for deathcore. And if you're gonna get me into it, give me some kind of gateway, you know? Don't get me wrong, this is also the same guy who liked what Code Orange was putting out, which was kind of sort of borderlining into the deathcore blah blah. So, I mean, take that for what it's worth, I guess. So, as if what I had to say about deathcore is a grain of salt. I understand. Whatever. At least I'll admit that's more of a genre at this point, and as opposed to the terminology of gent. But I digress. This album finds a way to where it seems that this finds a blending point of taking deathcore and relying on bringing in more melodic death metal elements in a way that it seems metalcore did, which led to the melodic metalcore scene, or at least more specifically, the more at the gates core that of another band that has another album that's coming out this past week. I will probably have to attempt to do a deep dive of that, and then hopefully I'll take a slight break and start listening to some other albums that I need to catch up on for a catch-up thing. That's what's going to happen. I'll leave you an update with that. But Kin, or Whitechapel, the follow-up to The Valley, and is apparently in a sort of a sequel-ish album. I wound up realizing in the process of this, I did not give The Valley a fair shake, and as long as elitists don't have their fucking way about this within the internet, I think we might have a new potential classic on our hands in terms of the ultimate gateway to said genre of deathcore and just in general. I like the direction this band is going in, and some of this reminds me, in the best way possible, though still take with a slight grain of salt because I haven't listened to everything outside of maybe the recent album of this particular era, but yes, Jesse Leach, Killswitch Engage is what I think of. And a recent album I did listen to that involves him and Adam's other project that was sort of had a more experimentally alt metal, almost borderline post metal-ish kind of a thing. Or like a post-rock infused alt metal kind of a thing, I guess. Post-rock, post-grunge infused alt metal type of a thing, I guess is what you would call it. With some hints of Killswitch kind of in metalcore in there. I get that. But I think what people weren't getting out of that project, or that specific album that came out under that project umbrella or whatever, Kin does better of that. And does exactly what I think fans of Suicidal Silence were hoping the self-titled could be, and never was. In fact, I think Suicide Silence should just take some cues from Whitechapel, because they've apparently done it technically twice and done it even better. Especially the cleans. Like, holy fucking shit. I mean, tracks like, I fucking adore Anti-Cure. I do like the other tracks, The Lost Boy, but for me, it's Anti-Cure, Orphan. I do love how the Without You segues into Without Us. But it's the closing title. I mean, To the Wolves is the more meat and potatoes thing. But it's not bad. I'm able to adjust to it because of what they set themselves up with the other stuff they did, where they were willing to go other places musically. But yes, and the closing title track really is like, what a great closer. Like, fucking hell. Just this. Fuck it. Fuck it. Whitechapel. You get horns up, masterclass certification. It's making my year-end list. I don't care if you like it or not. If you don't, fuck you. But also you do you at the same time. Which just even saying that in context sounds weird. But anyways, yeah, yeah. I actually like this more than the Mastodon record. Hence why I decided to release this thing. However, there was something else that came out this weekend from a band that needs introduction. Probably don't need to if you've caught my 2019 Best of the Year list. Especially if you know what my number one is. And that's from this band here. And that is... Moron Police, The Stranger and the High Tide. Yes, this EP, following it up, well, they went from making a progressive pop record to making a progressive country rock record. I like it. I like it a lot. Power of Jesus. Tracks like the Power of Jesus. The title track, Waiting for Wasteland's Perishes. It's just 15 minutes, guys. Hell, their last album was like 30-something minutes. About as long as a pop punk record's supposed to be. I think you'll be fine. Just give them a chance. And that one felt more J-poppy. This one, I don't know if I would say that. It's possible the production still is, but I wonder if this is what... I didn't give the last Sturgill Simpson album, at least the one that everybody gave a crap about, that had the weird anime thing going. I didn't give that album a chance. I'm wondering if this sounds anything kind of like it. I think about it. Well, of course, adding like maybe some synth stuff, but there's none here. It's straight up, I'd say this is more neo-folk meets... It's very much an alternative country style of a record that happens to have some very progressive rock-leaning tendencies. Or at least it's a progressive country rock of it in a very alt-country-ish kind of alt-country, neo-folk tinged kind of way. Not quite progressive country meets progressive rock, necessarily. Though it's a possibility it could be both. But I can't tell, really. Either way, this thing is fucking good and fascinating. To think a dude from Norway that went from doing crazy comedy metal shit to doing one of the craziest progressive pop records that clearly tops even the likes of someone that knows how to blend progressive pop, then progressive rock and metal and pop tendencies like Thank You Scientist did, which is not for them. I probably wouldn't have gotten into that record anyway, and that record somehow topped that, and still holds up. I love this. Overall, just check this fucking thing out. It's just not even 15 minutes, maybe 16 to 18, give or take. But regardless, give this album a listen, guys. Give this album a listen. You seriously, just, yeah. Don't deny my shit. Okay? Don't deny these guys. From Norway. They're good. Damn it. And give that album, I'd said, a chance as well. And they're still good here. I mean, that's, I'll probably be listening to this on my way home, if not doing something else. Fucking rocks, okay? Fucking rocks masterclass still. God damn it. Did it again. And they did it with country, too. It's from fucking Norway. Place from, or this is Swedes. I think they're Norway or Sweden. Either way. Doesn't matter. Either way, this place is known for death metal and shit. And somehow something country came out of there, and it was actually better than most of the fucking shit in the mainstream. It's not Stapleton or some shit. But anyways, what did you guys think of these albums? Leave a comment below. Let me know. As always, guys, keep it random. Keep it random. Keep it real. Keep it rocking. Keep it real. Keep it rocking. And I'll see you in the next video. Also, make sure you links in the description to a lot of things. Ben Bateman's touring thing and his back surgery fund, GoFundMe. Also his links in the description to the Dungeon page. I'm not going to do that thing. I normally do the other thing. But also links. Just yeah, check out the other stuff as well. My links to my Facebook for like and follow me there. If you like this video, of course, ride the like button with thrust if you must. Please. Also, check out also please hit that subscribe button, click the notification bell. That'd be great. And as always, once again, keep it random, keep it real, keep it rocking, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care, y'all.